Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Whenever we feel like streaming.
I can't believe we did that. We did not. I was going to say we should rehearse it. And I was like, you know what?
I was going to ask.
I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up. And let's just see if we did it.
Nope. I had the same thought. The
Woo,
same exact
look at that.
thought.
I'm proud of us.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
Go
thing.
us.
Same thing. There are so many people here. It's
there are
really
so many
nice.
people. It is so good to see everybody. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Welcome to the Couples Table.
Yeah.
So today, I think this is episode 106. You wanted to do a whole new season.
Well, I was like, you were like, what number is it? And does this count? And I was like,
But
I don't know, season 2.
I was like 10 years from now, I want to know how many like cumulative episodes we did.
Yeah.
So I was like,
on my podcast, I do season 9, episode 5, series episode 142.
Oh my, that's Tom for you.
So that way I know how many there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's we're back catch up episode. We don't really have anything planned. We'll just talk about
all the
whatever
things.
you want to talk about.
There's so much because we want to do this, and as Bailey says, chills.
Literal chills. Tom was like, I don't think I have the intro music. I was like, you gotta have the intro music, man.
I mean, it's not like it's lost forever, but like, we prior to this, we're doing it in your studio for like 8 months.
No, I know. I kind of like being back in here. It's nice.
Do you? Okay. Well, the reason we moved was because it was when I was like, no,
Tom was getting a little bit overwhelmed with the production.
Yeah. And so I was like, you handle it all. But now you just handle it all here on this computer.
Well, I just showed up and sat down and it was all good to go. Oh, look, we sound great.
Oh, there we go. I am on the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure.
It was a 2-minute countdown.
And Heather is on the LCT 240 Pro. So we're purely pro.
Okay, so the last time we streamed was September 22nd.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's been 6 months.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That's fine.
October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah. Wow.
All right.
So.
Oh, no! Okay, sorry. This is the problem with
Ben's on the stream deck pedals, and he totally changed the scene. I don't know. Ben, like,
yikes.
I was going to say, every time we stream, we obviously haven't been streaming for a while, but for some reason, whenever we do sit together at a desk, Ben likes to be, like, in the most inconvenient spot.
Yeah. He goes directly
lay,
under where you can't move your feet. And now he decided to pass out on the stream deck pedal.
Oh, man, that was
funny.
funny.
And change all the scenes. So
Okay, well, hello everybody. It is so good to see you all. What song is the intro music?
It's an Andrew
Andrew
Apple Pie
Apple Pie,
song.
yeah.
I forget what it's
It's
called.
like bop, 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 bop. That's what I just said. But okay, let's say hi to everybody. Jared in the house. I know there were some people who chatted before.
Heather Just Create is here. Shoot.
Hey Jay, Bailey, Roger, Paul, Duncan, Hot Tub Lady, Spiral Lab, Drew, Miro, Todd, Mr. Camera Junkie.
So nice.
Prive My, K-Walk, Peter, Annika, Tech Troublemaker, Call Me Cubby. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you all. Andrew, J Poetics, Killer of Demons, Arthur G Films, Introvert Amateur, Richard, Zents ASMR. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, Attack on Titan. Should I start it?
Well, obviously they're gonna say yes.
I feel like I should.
They're gonna be like, no, it sucks.
Hey Keith. So, okay, so I posted on my Instagram.
Questions, kind of.
Well, kind
Topics.
of, yeah. I said, what should we talk about?
Yeah.
And someone asked, well, a couple people asked
I haven't seen any of that.
Which was like, why did you take a break, basically?
Sure. There's nothing wrong. We did 100 episodes over two years, right? Over 2 years. It's a long time. And for me, I'll speak to myself.
Yeah.
I felt a lot of pressure. I think we did too, to always like have a topic, which then you're planning out a stream, you're planning out a show every week. And that got like hard to do after 100 weeks. And whereas Lewis is in here, he's done like 120 straight weeks of live streaming.
I know.
Like,
props to you, man.
You know, it gets difficult after a while. And the other thing for me was having the set thing in the calendar every week became really difficult to schedule around. And then there was like tremendous guilt if we took a break. So it was just kind of like, let's just
call it.
Take a break.
Because I also felt like let's cancel this week. It started to be sporadic on and off. And
we
I
never wanted
like
it to be an obligation. And so we took a break. We said, we'll do ones whenever we feel like. And we have recorded a couple of episodes since then.
It was just the one.
Was it just one? It feels like two or three.
It was the one.
Oh.
But you know why it feels that way? Because we talk all the time about content creation. Or like, this should be a podcast. And
Yeah. So maybe that was it. And then... So again, coming back for me, what did start happening was talking to like all the awesome people who are here right now. People are like, oh, we missed that. And I was surprised by how many people said they missed it. And then we started missing it, like, which is good. It's not like, oh, this thing we have to do, but it's, I wish we should do that.
Yeah.
And then so now it's more, at least for me, figuring out like how to do it in a, a sustainable way where it doesn't just end up happening, what happened before.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Benny. Yeah. And then the timing was weird because when we took a break, all this health stuff started happening for both Tom and I. Like, it was just a weird 6 months of nothing life-threatening, but a lot of health stuff that we really needed to take care of. So, like, honestly, if we hadn't called it would have happened, I felt like.
Right. Yeah. True.
So...
Good timing then.
So like, okay, my cholesterol got like insanely high. Like the doctor told me you need to make some drastic lifestyle changes or else. So I just worked for 3 months straight and ended up dropping my cholesterol by 86 points, which was
I've never heard of anyone dropping their cholesterol by 86 points in 3 months.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's crazy.
I recorded a video and for some reason I can't get this video out. I have to get this video out. You need to help me finish this because I need some B-roll, but hopefully that'll go out I'd love to get it out tomorrow, honestly. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Then I found out I was anemic severely. So been dealing with that.
The doctor was like, how do you get out of bed? And she's like, oh, I'm not performing as good as I want to at the gym. And she's like, how are you even walking?
Yeah. So, so what else happened? Oh, then I thought I had shoulder tendonitis. Tom did something weird with his knee.
Oh, I strained my MCL.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. So it's just a bunch of stuff that wasn't
I got strep throat. Well, then I got COVID.
Yeah, in December. And like, mind you, Tom has never missed a week in his upload schedule.
Still didn't.
Despite all this, we should, you know, I think you talked about this on your podcast, but I think that would be an interesting thing to talk about is like, for someone who is as creative as you anyway, how did you deal with that like 11 days of, but we'll talk about that. We'll table that.
Because I have answers.
Yeah.
I have answers.
So it was a crazy few months, but feeling good.
Yeah.
Happy 2023.
You know what's making me feel good? Super Chat. So thank you, Christian Gartner, for pair character turn around, wave his hand saying, hey you, while lowering his glasses. I know in the YouTube chat you can see that, but on eCam you can't, so that's what we see. And Bailey, thank you so much. Totally not using Super Chats to keep bribing you to make these episodes. This will just be our main source of income now at this point.
All right. Hey, Mike, Movie Dean, Rio Pell Room, Parker Jennings, Chip. Oh, man, it's so good to see you all.
Yeah, it really did. It was Bailey had sent in a thing to my podcast.
So you can all thank Bailey.
Yeah. Well, this was a while ago. It was several weeks ago, maybe even over a month. And it was just sort of like, hey, like, I feel like we haven't talked in a while, sort of like, you know, without the couples table, feel a little disconnected. And I was like, yeah, you know, I feel that too. And it's sort of a bummer. And then other people started bringing it up, but it is this fine line to walk between like wanting to stay connected with people, especially a core group of people who get what you're doing, and then making yourself maybe too accessible to people who don't get what you're doing and you don't want to be connected to. And I don't have an answer for that, but it's definitely like a bit of a struggle.
Well, I came to realize that the couples table, I think for us and for a lot of people, it almost feels like changing classes. It's like in the hallway and you get to see everybody.
The passing period.
Yeah, like the passing period.
Of
but
life.
like, because like otherwise, where else would we have spontaneous conversations? Like it wouldn't happen. It just didn't happen. You know, it would be here and there on social media and stuff. But I realized that, I kind of miss having that.
Yeah, no, it's a really big, I don't know, it's a big component to feeling
not
like you're a crazy person.
A lot of our friends are also like on the internet. So, you know, it's kind of the only way to.
Yeah, there's so many people we know where it's like, well, if we don't talk to them online, then we don't.
Yeah, then we just
talk
don't.
to them.
So
because they don't live nearby or anything.
Anyway, so the other question or the follow up to that was, so we're back, and what does that look like?
What does that look like?
Well, okay. So in my head, it is just Thursday 1 p.m.
Okay.
I know you don't like that though, so I don't know what that is. Like,
okay,
I don't know
maybe we can get some help here. It's not that I don't like, because when you say you don't like that, it's not like, oh, Tom hates doing the stream or anything. It's just having the thing in the schedule with no end in sight. So, you know, sometimes you might sign up for a class or something that's 6 weeks long, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, every week I have this commitment, but after 6 weeks I'm done.
Yeah.
To just be like, well,
for the rest of time.
Yeah, and the thing with the stream is it's not just, you know, whatever, the stream might be an hour or a little over an hour, but there's so much time before, so much time after, plus the like physical, emotional expense of doing it, even a good one, on top of trying to do everything else. It can become really disruptive. And so what I don't want is that same thing of just like indefinitely, here's this thing that I have to constantly work around, and it ends up adding a lot of stress. So what I would like, what I do with my own personal podcast where nobody else is involved but me, is I just do one episode a week, and it gets recorded when I can throughout the week.
Yeah.
But that's not how your brain works.
No, because I have ADHD, and if I start the week knowing that at some point in the next 7 days we have to do the couples table, then I will just be, you know how you wake up.
6,
yeah. You wake up
11:59.
so today we woke up and we're like, okay, we're going to do the couples table. And we've been thinking about it since we woke up, right?
Yeah.
Even probably yesterday, like, okay, tomorrow we got the couples table. Well, if it's like not in the calendar and it just happens whenever, then on Monday I will start thinking about it until we do it. And so like now we've dragged the time because it's like, it could be today, it could be tomorrow. Who knows?
So a potential solution that I had was compromise. Let's meet in the middle. So if I want less structure and you want more structure, what if we schedule every other week?
Yeah.
And then every other week is scheduled, and in the weeks in between that, maybe there's one, maybe there isn't, which I know is hard to like, it's not the most convenient thing for a viewer, but ultimately if it's like gonna keep something sustainable, seemed like it might work. So that way there's scheduled things that are in the calendar, but they're not overwhelming. And then there's other opportunities to do things, but there's also no guilt if for some reason it doesn't happen or it's a different time or whatever. It's not like
another thing we could do is because the last time we went live was September 22nd, but we did record an episode and then published it.
Yeah.
And did the live
premiere.
The premiere. That is also an option because we record that whenever we can. And then it just goes out.
That is an option. I think that could be a cool thing to have there. I do miss the real time.
Yeah.
I guess it depends because the cool thing about that is being able to focus 100% on a topic.
Oh, come here closer. You're a little too far.
I'm on the edge.
Why are you on the edge of life
there's no
right now?
Room. This is all the reasons we moved out of this room.
No, it's fine. There, it looks great.
All right.
So anyway, we're gonna figure it out.
So those are my thoughts, but we also have like quite a brain trust here of people. So
yeah.
Renee is here. Wow.
Oh, hi, Renee.
Wow.
JFK.
So there we go.
Oh no, coffee. Oh, so good to see you all. So I don't know. Stay tuned as we figure it out.
I mean, it doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. Like I know Heather works on an all or nothing.
I know, dude.
Thing.
I have to. We're streaming every day.
Yeah. So it's this week where I'm like, why don't we schedule every other week and then just sit with that and add things as they naturally, organically pop up over time. That's fine.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Let's see. What did Bailey say? Do you think that part of the issue was that there was seemingly no one in sight? You could do like, for instance, 10 weeks in a row, take a few breaks. Yeah, that's why I do that with the podcast, is do the seasons where it's like I have this commitment for this set chunk of time and then a break and then a commitment, break. Definitely makes a difference. But the thing with the podcast is it's just me. So I can just do whatever works for just me.
Whenever,
you can be as selfish as I want with it because it doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
So.
The other question, let's see. Also, if you have questions, I don't know if there was a question already.
I mean, there's a lot of comments to go back and check in on. But.
Let's see. Hold on. Where have you been?
Where have you been all my life?
Hockey, and this is from the importance of taking a break from something to allow more margin in your life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 100%. Because it's just I think we've talked about this before, where it's like a blank day on the calendar isn't even necessarily a blank day.
Yeah. It's
just like, you can feel tempted to fill every moment with something, but sometimes you kind of just need breathing room, and there have been times over the past 6 months, I guess, that things have popped up, at least for me, where it's like, oh, I can say yes to this, and I couldn't have said yes to that. If not just this, but if other things, because I've also I really haven't done like any sponsored stuff or anything. Like I've really just like kind of shut all that down, which then lets me say yes to other cool stuff because my time isn't taken up with these other things that, it's like, oh, I can't do this thing I really want to do because I have to do something else. Not this necessarily, but other things.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to catch up?
Yeah. Got to flex those streaming muscles. How does it work? How do you moderate the things? How do you, how do we do this over here?
Let's see. Scrolling through. Did I say hi to you, Mike?
We can now.
Hello. I hope I don't miss anything. How deep, for Mr. Camera Junkie, how deep have you dipped into your reserve set of videos, your buffer?
Yeah, especially, I'm guessing you're talking about when I was sick.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've fortunately always still had at least 2 videos ready, which is really nice, but I like to... 3 is kind of the sweet spot. If there's 4, then it's like I almost feel disconnected from them because you make a video and it doesn't come out for like a month, and you're like, wait, what was that? And things aren't even set up the same. It's almost like too much time. 3 is the sweet spot for me. If I can log in and see 3 videos scheduled, I feel like
obscure tech put LCT 240 party, and I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, microphones.
Yes, because you know what, Mike, he got recently?
Oh,
This
really?
one right here. Yes.
So that's the same one?
No, I did a video about this one, which we did. This is the one that always won all the mic showdowns. And I didn't use it that often because I couldn't mount it properly, but then I found this mount that's really great. And I made a whole video about this microphone and how great it is. And then, which was not like a sponsored thing. And then Lewitt saw it. And it was funny because they were like, we sent a message to you like a year and a half ago. And I guess I didn't
Missed
reply to
it.
it, which I would have because I would have. I just didn't see the message. And she's like, it was so nice because we were going to ask to do some sponsored stuff. She's like, but honestly, like nothing we could have done would have been better than this, which is a very nice compliment. And because in the comments of that video, people were like, if you love the 240, you need to try the 440, which I was just going to order, but then they just sent me the 440. So I have that here. And I'm trying to use as much as I can so I can get used to it. And then I can do a video between them.
Okay. I feel like we should segue.
Okay.
Oh wait, did you talk about your sickness thing?
What thing?
Like when you had COVID?
Yeah, it sucked. what else?
Like, okay, let's talk about that first before we segue. So, you got COVID in December.
I caught it on Thanksgiving.
Yes. Oh yeah, we did the turkey trot because I was trying to lower my cholesterol. I was trying to get us to be more
It's all
active,
connected.
and then we did the 5K turkey trot. And I realized, oh, there's a lot of people from here, or a lot of people here from out of town, and we're all no masking at the starting line.
Yeah.
But I didn't get sick. I don't know. I didn't get COVID. I tested every single day.
We quarantined
Nada.
once I figured out I had it, but that was like day 3. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Heather just
Whatever.
has an amazing. I also had this crazy cold this past week that like killed me. It's just a regular cold, and she got like a tiny sore throat for 2 days.
I'll take it.
And I've been, which is
Okay.
when I was teaching, I had the best immune system in the world, never got sick. And now I don't have
Question. So Tom is like, we'll just keep going, right? So I was surprised that when he got COVID, he actually got knocked down.
that.
Like
Yeah. But like
the will,
Chumbawamba,
you can keep going.
I get
You
up
could-
again.
Yeah. Wow. So you had to stop because there were a few days where it was bad.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. It was like day 7 or so that I was starting to like do emails and stuff.
Yeah. And then you were starting to get cabin fever.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really, really tough.
Because we were really meticulous about
I just
the
stayed
quarantine.
in our bedroom for 11
Yeah.
days, basically.
I was in the guest room just hanging out.
Which
but-
thankfully it's a nice room, but like, my God, you can't do anything. And yeah. And when it started,
So were you nervous about like what was it like having to unexpectedly put your content creating business on pause for that long?
it really showed me the benefit of having all these safety measures in place that I've been building up because they saved the day.
Yeah,
And
no one even
no
knew.
one
No
would've-
one should have known.
Other than some very stuffy sounding podcasts and videos, no one would have really had a clue that anything was off.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And it did ease the stress off of me because I didn't, there was still videos coming out. There were still people enrolling in courses. There was
Yeah.
still like stuff was still happening, which wouldn't have gone on forever. It's not like you could just do that forever, but at least for that chunk of time, there was enough of a buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want more about this, you have a podcast episode on this. Do you know what it's called?
It's from season 9. That's all I know. I'm only 7 episodes into season 9, so it's one of those ones. I don't remember what it is titled. It's like I got COVID and it sucked or something like that was what I was gonna call it. Yeah, but ultimately it ended up being a really good thing because it forced me to not to just take a break, but to
You kind of need to get out of your element, right?
yeah, it sort
Yeah.
of pushed me into different different niches, different areas. Because when you're just sitting there and you can't do anything, you're watching a lot of stuff. Or at least I was like just consuming like so much stuff just to pass the time and try to get better. And then it ended up like turning into analysis mode where it's like, why do I like this? What is the common thread between these things
Yeah,
that
he
I
started
like?
writing essays in there. He had like
Drawing
iPads
diagrams.
and
It was like a crazy person.
laptops. Yeah, notebooks. I was like, you're sick. What are you doing? But
I couldn't make anything, and that because
Yeah.
what originally happened was when I first got sick, it's like, cool, I'll just catch up on all my favorite channels, which a lot of them are in my same niche. And so then it's people making
Yeah.
videos that I would kind of like
that
to make a
you
version
wanted
of.
to make, yeah.
And it's like just looking out the window at everyone
Yeah.
playing and you're stuck inside. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch any more of these right now because it's just bumming me out. I'm going to just go off into like totally other areas. And that was great. It ended up being fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a whole podcast about it, so I'm trying not to repeat too much.
Yeah. Okay, well, the
Oh,
look,
Bailey, season 9, episode 9.
Oh, there you go. It's a good one if you have time.
Oh, yeah, I'm in season... Wait, no, I'm not on season 10. I'm in season 9, right? I don't know what season I'm in. I'm in 9. But yeah, what getting COVID taught me about YouTube, that's the episode.
I think you're on 10.
Am I on season... I'm not on season 10.
I don't know.
I should know
Anyway,
this.
go listen to this episode. I think it was a... I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to, especially when it comes to content creation. Because I think, there's a lot of discussion in terms of like how we get started, figuring out your voice, then you have your content, then you have your angle in the world of content, and it's just about maintaining and growing, but then keeping you inspired. Like sometimes you need an outside factor, be it sickness or conference or meeting other people or whatever, to kind of push you into the next level up. And so I think there's a lot of great takeaways from that one.
Yeah, there Bailey said season 8, season 9. I knew that, but I was really second guessing because I was like, season 10, I was planning to like really celebrate at season 10. There's no way I just got halfway through it and didn't realize that. Anyway.
So I wanted to ask you about how YouTube has changed in the last 6 months. Not just YouTube like platform wise, but just like culture, community, like any changes that you've noticed.
I can share what I think, but I'd also be interested to notice what people here have seen too.
I feel like that'd be a good... I want to know what everyone thinks.
That's a really good question, because...
How are things different, 2022 versus 2023? Everything from, how YouTube plays a part in people's lives and like in terms of like the subscriber, to maybe, I don't want to say trends, but maybe waves of content,
Yeah.
Anything.
I mean, from my point of view,
Yeah.
It's almost the first time that I don't have an answer to that question, because I've tried really hard to just kind of do my own thing and not think about that at all.
Yeah.
Which has been great. So I kind of don't know. Like, I just watch what I watch, I make what I make, and that's kind of the end of it. But from what I have seen and friends I've had, a big shift is in how it seems like how people are working with brands. I feel like speaking generally, the relationship between like a creator and a brand and the audience, sort of that 3-point like triangle relationship there, love triangle. It's really at like a breaking point where brands, especially just economically, want as much for as little as they can get, right? Ultimately, most of them do. And creators want as much as they can get with as much freedom as they can get. And the viewers, I think value is the keyword, but ultimately, like, a viewer doesn't want a commercial. Like, they don't really want, I've even seen channels I love make really cool videos and seen people in the comments go like, is this a review or a commercial? Like, I can't tell. And they're not even being jerks. They're like trying to figure out, like, are you being honest with me about this thing? Or are you just telling me what someone paid you to say about it? And I think that there's a lot of tension in that relationship. And a lot of people are trying to figure out ways to deal with that in some way or other. And I don't think there's like solutions or anything yet, but it's been interesting to see. I feel like more and more people are saying no to brands and not just accepting everything that comes their way. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know for sure.
Mike says he got COVID 2 weeks ago, had to cancel everything.
Oh,
Oof.
It's rough. Like,
Sean has COVID now, didn't get as bad, but had to take time off work.
I hope you feel better soon and it goes all the way away soon.
I had 3 weeks in the pipeline. Now nothing for next week, says Oh No Coffee.
Oh no.
Mike said he watched all of YouTube. So
All of
bored.
it.
Hot tub lady ready for my second knee replacement surgery in a week. The first one stopped me cold. I had 5 weeks ready. I'm on week 8 and haven't been behind camera. Going to be so far behind.
I hope knee stuff. I mean, I just like strained my knee and it knocked me out for a couple of weeks, and that sucked. And I was really scared it was something more serious because it kind of wasn't getting better for a while, and I'm so scared of knee surgery. But I hope that it, as much as the surgery sucks, it at least puts things in motion to then get better. Like, you know, I had a coworker at an old job whose like husband had chronic back pain and was just always miserable. And then he had back surgery, and she was complaining because she was like, he's in so much pain all the time and it's just so miserable. And it's like, yeah, but now he's going to be getting better. Before he was just in pain all the time. Now he's in pain, but he's actually going to start recovering. And he did. And then he was like, fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's so hard.
Bailey says, completely stopped YouTube at the moment in year 11 at school. Got lots of exams coming up. Also got a part-time job, doing a lot more with my business. That's great.
It's busy.
With your education, I am seeing shorts get more views than regular videos. Not sure what that means for how I go forward with content. That's so funny. So like, I was waiting for someone to bring up the shorts thing.
Well, me too. And I see Obscure Tech right below that. Admittedly found a way to enjoy making them. I think that is a key point.
I was about to say shorts, It Feels Wrong by Amelia found a way to enjoy making them.
If you can enjoy making them and not feel like it's the thing I have to make because YouTube's pushing it, that's a big deal. It's like live streaming. You could live stream. It doesn't mean you have to live stream all the time.
Yeah.
And they're pushing shorts a lot more than streaming. But.
Yeah. So with shorts, this is just my opinion, but I still don't. I know my YouTube viewing habits are very different, like even just compared to Tom. So I don't know. This is just based off of my experience, but I still think that yes, shorts get more views, but their conversion is nothing compared to long form video, and not long form video in terms of live streams, right? It's like you just said, these are all different types or formats of content. There's shorts, there's, let's call them regular videos, regular YouTube videos. There's live streams, there's stories, there's community posts, whatever.
That's a lot of stuff.
These are all different formats, and I think that they could and should be used for different circumstances. But like, I just know so many people who get like so many views on shorts, and then you go to their actual channel or you peek in the comments, and I just feel like the community component isn't there
for the most part. But I think I agree. If you can find a way, like we talked about a minute ago, to enjoy making them, and they serve some sort of purpose, even if you do just have like a shorts channel, but it's like cohesive. But I have seen people, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head other than maybe like Obscure Tech and stuff, but where the shorts do supplement the other stuff. And so it's like, oh, you know what? Hockey is a great example. Because I've been trying to like learn more about like stick handling and puck handling and stuff. And there's some amazing channels out there, and there are a few channels I watch that have a lot of shorts where it's just one quick drill and one quick thing. It's like, I really don't need to watch a 12-minute video about this. Your 45 seconds is amazing, showing what to do, and then let me go do it. And that's actually kind of cool. And I found myself thinking, great. I just wish they weren't mixed in with the feed of everything else, because what I don't like is going through my subscription feed and it's just 8,000 shorts before I get to like an actual video, short video. Like that part, separate that.
I'm convinced that Instagram and YouTube are just trying to compete for when I feel like TikTok inevitably,
right?
Like, I don't know, just implodes on itself. And so I feel like there's a lot of pressure on them as business entities to be the new TikTok and replace that or fulfill that constant scroll of short form content. But also I feel like I just feel like with the discovery so far from what I've seen, I haven't, to be fair, haven't scrolled through YouTube shorts like the discovery where you just kind of endlessly scroll. I haven't gone through that, but I do it on Instagram pretty often. And I find myself dipping in and dipping out so fast because it just feels like New York Times Square, where everywhere you look, there's something interesting, but it's nothing that like I intentionally sought out. It's just kind of like, here's this, here's this, here's this. All of this is happening. All of it is very interesting. And like, you know, sure, you could look at it, but also it's, you know, it's different from like, I'm really interested in what they're selling at this store, what, you know, what this group is getting together for. Let's, you know, focus on this topic versus just random stuff.
Right, chaos.
Yeah. And I feel like the conversion, if you just pop up in a random generated feed, like there's no one's gonna seek out the creator. I feel like that discovery still has to get tweaked in terms of the platform, but I do feel like I see why YouTube and Instagram are pushing it so much, but I feel like, you know, in terms of the longevity of content creators, I think just stick to like a solid portfolio. Like have the portfolio about the thing that you want to be known for, and then supplement with live streams and shorts and all that. That's what I think. I don't know.
Good one. Drew says, I've seen a big dialing back from a large amount of YouTube creators instead of the daily, weekly upload schedule. I've seen a larger gap between video drops, which has surprised me.
I've seen a lot of people notice that as well, even in the gaming space. This person was like, I just checked in on like 50 channels and all of them haven't uploaded. All of them haven't uploaded it in a couple months. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
It's definitely felt like the last year. So we've talked about before. It's like a big transition shift point. JFK says, here in Jamaica, fast internet has developed further, and because of that, stuff like YouTube has overtaken cable TV. Super interesting. Legit don't watch TV anymore, not even for sports. It's YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't even know. Oh, we're watching The Crown. I don't know why else we have Netflix. There's no need. It's just like a security blanket at this point because I've always had Netflix. But like, even that, I don't know, it's just replaced. We're at my parents' house and they have YouTube TV. Which is crazy. It's not a thing I would expect, but
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but it's just like, oh, we've just come full circle. So going into those brick and mortar Amazon bookstores, we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we're back.
What was? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I had an unrelated comment, but I will.
So Mike says, I'm getting the impression that camera channel hosts are getting bored of reporting how awesome new releases are, especially the ones that review lenses and cameras.
Yes. So I think the perfect antidote to this in terms of somebody who's been doing it for a long time is Caleb Pike. And I know he said, I watched a stream with him last year where he said he never does sponsor stuff anyway. He like sponsors himself through his courses and things. So his videos never have sponsors, but he still does like timely stuff. So camera releases, lenses. And he did a live stream last year where he said he wanted to start doing less of that and more of just what he thought was interesting. And he's been doing really fun stuff. Like, I know people sometimes give him crap for it, but he did like the 3D printed SM7B, where it's like you could take a $100 microphone and put it in this thing. Now it looks like an SM7B, which is like, it's fun. It's not, you know, it's not scientific. It's not whatever, but it's fun. He did a video last week about painting your cameras and like he was painting all his cameras white, but he was explaining like how to just paint your camera. And he actually went into a whole thing at the end, too, of like, it's not going to make you a better photographer, a better filmmaker, a videographer. But if you do something that makes you excited to use your tools, then you'll want to use them more. And then you will become better because you're using the things more. And I think he's done a lot of videos of that type over the past, not just painting things or making stuff, but things that are sort of not with the trends and just sort of in his own sphere. And he's got a pretty big channel, and it's kind of cool to see someone who's been doing it for well over a decade with a large channel sort of pivot back to the kind of things that he was excited about 10 years ago. And I think that's what's happened with a lot of people. The initial enthusiasm for this stuff has gotten replaced with like almost being like coverage.
Yeah.
Like press coverage.
Obligatory.
Of a new release and a new this and a new that. And
obligation is not the same as enthusiasm.
Right. Yeah, and it starts, it's so hard because it starts naturally.
It feels the same. Like, feels very similar.
I can fully remember the early DSLR video days, that's his channel, but I mean like when DSLR shot video, the early days of that, a new camera would come out and I would be like lots of people would be searching forums and YouTube for people who are like, oh, I actually got one. Like my camera shop had one. Here it is. Here's what it looks like. Here's how it works. I'm going to do it. Like it was sort of that excitement, which naturally then led into companies saying, hey, we're going to come out with something. Let us give it to you in advance, which then led into sort of like that on steroids. And then the enthusiasm, everyone just a wing of a marketing department for a corporation at a certain point. You're like, wait, that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay, so Obscure Tech said this. Sadly, shorts pull in much less ad revenue. Do you remember off the top of your head? Because we talked about this.
Yeah, I have a short. It drives me crazy. I actually like the info it puts out. Otherwise, I would delete it.
Yes. Okay, sorry. To finish my last thought about the shorts, one of the anecdotal stories I have to like, this is why I don't feel like it translates to any community, is because Kat came to visit, Kat Mulvihill. Shout out to her. That was super fun. But of course, we were all kind of just chatting YouTube. We talked about shorts. And I have a reel on Instagram because I feel like if you made a short or if you made a reel, both platforms are so eager to like get you to feel like this is the thing that you need to do so that it just gets pushed. And I made a reel using an Instagram template, which I don't even know. I don't know what this is, right? I plugged in the videos. It was just Tom and I ice skating. It's just ice skating footage. That's all it is.
There's no tricks. There's no like.
It's just ice skating. That's all it is. There's not even talking. Like it's just on top.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah, there's music and that's it. And to this day, it gets new likes. It has, I don't know, couple thousand views, but like I don't know, 700 likes or something insane. Something that I don't, for my account, I don't usually get. But it's just it continues to get pushed out. I don't know how many people have actually translated over to a follower.
Right.
And even if they did, what a bizarre introduction.
Yeah, you're not going to get more of that.
Yeah. Like that's just the thing that we did.
But you were saying because you used their template, you thought it was getting pushed out more.
Yeah, and so I feel like both Instagram and YouTube, I can't prove this, but I feel like both of them are so eager for like to be the replacement TikTok, that they're doing what TikTok did, which is like kind of inflate your views. Or like if you're a new, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that if you were a new user on TikTok, new creator on TikTok, your new reels would get insane amounts of views. And I remember seeing on Twitter, like all these YouTube creators, like same video on YouTube got, 1,000 views, same video on TikTok got several tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, yeah, but who cares about views? Like throw views out the window. What does that mean? Like what do you want at the end of the day? And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like YouTube it's just easier to build a community. But my point is that I feel like the platforms are just so eager to have it work that,
well, I mean,
there's
definitely weird juju happening. And then
yeah,
also with like revenue, I think it's,
yeah. So then we talked about revenue.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that YouTube is putting revenue on shorts. But I mean, obviously, like
they did like 2 months ago, when
February, right?
Okay.
Beginning of February.
Yeah, so like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but there's just no way that short form someone's making something 15 seconds is going to pull in the ad revenue of something that's potentially hours long. Like it's so different.
I don't know, so I don't have the.
I don't know how it works. What I do know is I have a handful of shorts, and my most successful one.
Okay. How many shorts do you have?
Maybe like 7. I don't know.
Okay, so he has like 7 shorts, and you have how many videos?
440.
Okay, so this short that you're talking about, when did you publish this?
This was probably last summer, but
Okay.
It didn't really do anything until like recently.
Okay,
And so in the past couple weeks, it's gotten 43,000 views.
that's a lot.
And are you ready for this?
43,000 views on this short.
Yes.
Which is about what?
Oh, it's about how to clean your MacBook Pro keyboard.
Okay, so not really related to.
I mean, it's
audio, video.
It's
But
adjacent.
it's you doing what you do.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope you, I don't know if you got any destination vacations in mind, but that is pulled in.
Wait, are we talking total cumulative or just in the past
For the
28 days?
43,000.
Okay.
So I don't know what the cumulative is. But
Okay.
For the
So
43,000.
43,000 views. How much money have you made?
$1.57. Before tax.
A quarter.
I want to look up, this actually got me curious. I want to look up my worst performing video from last year.
Yeah, and compare to that.
Which now it has 9,000 views. But that video, took a long time to get there. That video has earned $65.
That's your worst performing video
last year. But at $65, not a ton, but it's like exponentially more for a fraction of the views.
Yeah. See? And so like
not that it's about the money, but
I know that you're trying to incentivize creators to create shorts because now they're monetized, but 43,000 views for $1?
I mean, we have friends who have
like, you can literally walk the street and get $1 faster.
We have friends who have like essentially shorts focused channels, and they've gotten tens of millions of views total, maybe even a month. And I don't know what their revenue is, but I'd definitely be interested to know.
If it's different.
Okay, 43,000 is one thing, but what if you're one of those channels that you do get
only
10 million
shorts
views a month? Does that translate into what? I don't know.
Is your rate different? I don't know.
Not that, and that's
Based
again like the revenue is not
like,
the reason to do any of this stuff in the first place, but
that's the
monetization
key.
of shorts has been a big topic of conversation, and then people were mad because they're like, "What? This 15-second video is not paying my mortgage?" No, it's not.
Ono Coffee says the shorts have helped with subscribers, but I don't know if they'll contribute to watch time or accounts for revenue.
I don't know.
But it's separated.
Your analytics can be, but the subscriber, you could still potentially end up as, this is a channel with a huge number of subscribers, but every time they upload a non-short video, they get 100 views.
Right.
Yeah. Or people don't watch the whole video or something.
Yeah. I feel do your own thing as a trend. Let's focus on the strategy of creating.
And that's a trend that I think.
BookTube. 3 years COVID free. Same here, Kathy.
Oh, yeah.
Despite being in school for most of the time. That's interesting.
But see, I think I know teachers have really good immune systems. My first year teaching, first year and a half, I was sick constantly. And then I was like, not sick again. Pretty much the rest of the time that I taught, maybe once. And now I just catch everything all the time.
Do you plan on looking into using the new podcast feature on YouTube?
I need to learn more about it. I think YouTube needs to learn more about it. There's some really cool stuff. I think it's very exciting. The part that I'm most excited about, though, is it sounds like they will at some point let you import existing RSS feeds, which I don't personally want to create a new podcast on YouTube because I just don't want to. But for people like myself and anyone who's had a show for a long time, you've got all these episodes. Now it sounds like you could potentially then have access to YouTube as a podcast directory, as a platform, even if it's an audio only episode. To me, that's really exciting, and I love that.
So if there is a video attached, it'll just be like a thing on top.
I don't know for sure. So right now you can create a new playlist and you can mark it as a podcast, but it can just be whatever videos. I don't know what counts as a podcast and doesn't. But yeah, in theory, you could upload a video podcast to YouTube and then there's a video there, but your audio one would be part of YouTube Music. And it's almost, I think, like how Spotify does it. If there's a video, it'll play the video. If there's only audio, it'll just show you the audio. And that's cool. I'm really excited about that.
Drew says you need to come out with a buck puck. And I totally agree.
Yeah, no.
That'd be awesome. Raphael's here.
Yay.
Over the last decade, I've never heard anyone say, I should delete YouTube. It's wasting too much time. But now, I still have never heard that. I've heard social media, but I've never heard delete YouTube.
But I'm curious if Raphael's but now means if it becomes TikTok or Reels.
Yeah, it's the shorts thing. Hey, Kevin. I feel like we as creators need to do what feels best for us, and the audience that wants that content will find it. Taking in too many opinions, you might end up just spinning your wheels.
I agree 1,000%. It's so hard to then triangulate. I see people go into their analytics some people have the brain for it, but you know, they just drive themselves crazy. Like there's a dip in retention here. And that's when I showed, I don't know, this like blue shirt on camera. So maybe there should be no blue shirts at 4 minutes and 57 seconds. That will increase. It's like, you're going to go crazy. Just make a good video. Like, just make the best video you can.
JFK says TikTok won't implode. It's the driving force for a lot of underrated musicians where I'm from, and I guess all over the world. I'm talking specifically about the U.S. though.
There's the constant talk of banning it.
Yeah, like it's still like an issue being discussed.
Yeah,
so
I don't have enough info to really have an informed opinion about that.
But that's what I'm referring to. Like, I'm sure the platform will keep going, but I don't know if.
The biggest thing I've seen, which I kind of agree with, is instead of banning platforms, have people who aren't 1,000 years old look into data privacy laws. And that way it's not just like, we're going to ban this platform, and then something else could pop up that does the exact same thing. Let's make sure that, like, as a whole, it can't get to the point where it's even something you need to worry about banning. Right. But, you know, that'll probably never happen.
I think if us non-short-loving boomers use it to do setups or post caps for our long-form videos, can be a nice tandem.
True. Post those to TikTok.
Hot to Lazy says shorts are not my favorite. However, they have kept my channel alive while I'm on this downtime.
Yeah, I mean, stories are the closest thing I really do to shorts regularly, and I love...
Oh, this.
I shouldn't say that shorts don't need... There's people who put, like, think of something like Zach King. You're putting budgets into your shorts. But something like a story is so quick and so easy and so stress-free that it's like... There are plenty of times where I can't make a video or make something, but I can still actually make and share something just super quickly through that. And that's cool.
I only... have heard this through you, but like everyone switching to DaVinci Resolve. Yeah,
I have a lot of thoughts on this. And I love Resolve. I have zero negative things to say about Resolve. Adobe is the worst. Like their software is the best. Well, not the best, but a lot of the software is amazing. Their subscription model is the literal worst. And it's awful. And people are tired of it. And especially because Premiere is a tricky program to use reliably for a lot of people. And Resolve's a great option. But I think there's 100% a monkey see, monkey do thing happening. Where it's like,
I kind of feel that too.
Yeah, like maybe, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I have just keep my...
I see multiple people say creators seem burnt out. Lots of creators talking about taking breaks. Let's see. Hey, Filmtopia.
Hey, speaking of someone who's been busy.
Yeah. Cool. Rob. Sup?
We did get season tickets to our local hockey team, which some of you know, but there are other season ticket holders in front of us, and like the dad of the group. It's not that he looks, there's something about him that just reminds me of you. So every time I see them, I just think it's Rob.
We think of you, yeah.
Sometimes they wear a big bright red wig. Yeah. So I don't know if that's you.
Let's see. Meta is demonetizing Reels? Really?
Well, I don't know. They're laying off like everybody.
What's happening, dude? Yes. Hey,
speaking
Kev.
of people who might want to need to switch to Resolve. Yes, Drew, for me personally, my channel is built to share my photography with people for a long period of time. Short form content doesn't make sense. I love that. I love when you post the meetings you've had with Jared Polin. He does like feedback, critique, consulting sessions with like a big photo YouTuber, but then just posts them up on the channel. And it's really cool to like
see this. This is how I feel about it. Shorts feel like fast food, junk food. Adults know it's unhealthy, waste of time, but it's the responsibility of an individual how they consume it.
Right.
And the companies are going to do whatever.
Food. Like sometimes you do. But...
Yeah. But I don't know. I have a short from a week ago that has 1.3K views, and I made 6 cents.
Don't spend it all.
Well, that's like more than, or is that the same rate?
My RPM is 4 cents. So
that's
you're
right.
You're on the high end of shorts.
Yeah.
11 cents. You're in. Oh wait, I was in $1. Like you're in double digits. I mean, it's I think a lot of us here started YouTube thinking we would never make any money. So 11 cents is 11 cents more than ever thinking you're making. But, YouTube is the best of the monetizable platforms. And so it's a worthwhile conversation to have.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely worth discussing. Love and hate resolve. Do you say this a lot? You're doing gear shame.
No, because this, I always be clear.
Oh,
Adobe software is great.
Okay.
I mean, Premiere is rough because it's so, its
Premiere
bones are so
makes me
old.
so sad. It's like an unreliable friend.
The concept is amazing. The execution is rough because it's just, it's old. And Adobe software is great. It's just, and part of this, I've talked about it before, but when I was a teacher, this wasn't my job, but literally 25%, no joke, of my time ended up being dedicated to Adobe Enterprise and Education Licensing admin.
Right.
And it was a constant nightmare. And it's like, this could just not have to be this way. But it is, because Adobe is the worst. And then somebody pointed out, I did a tutorial on Final Cut Pro recently, and someone in the comments was like, oh, too bad this had to be Final Cut. I'm not rich and have, the money for Final Cut Pro. And I was like, okay, it's $300. I bought it in 2012 for $300.
Yeah, you're definitely milking it out.
Yeah, it's fine. It's really pretty fair.
You built a whole business off of Final Cut Pro.
It has
definitely
earned
worth
its
the
keep.
investment,
And then I was like, in that same amount of time I have spent, I added up my Adobe license, over $4,000 on Adobe. Like, just saying.
Yeah.
But I love Audition and Photoshop. But Audition and Photoshop are my two favorite Adobes.
Yeah. DJ Ware says, I use my channel to teach. Shorts just don't work for me. I feel like they are super appropriate for, like, if you can figure out the format or the the circumstance to use that format for your thing, I feel like it could really work. It's just like live streaming. It's hard to explain to somebody who doesn't know, nothing about nothing. It's like, what are the differences between YouTube videos and live streams? There's a huge difference, but it's like really hard to explain in like one sentence. Yeah. And I feel like that's the same with shorts. There is a huge difference. And I feel like there are, like, if you were to ask me, should I make this a short or should I make this a whole YouTube video? I can give you a pretty, confident answer depending on the circumstance. But I think figuring out what that is hard because it's different for everybody.
I think of it like a tool in a toolbox.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You have a hammer or a saw or something. It doesn't mean you only use the hammer or the saw, but when you need it, it's there.
Yeah. Let's see. Stephen Martin says, I've been busy packing my bag for a day of photography tomorrow. I use Shorts as an advert for my normal videos. I love Resolve and so happy to have switched from Adobe.
Yeah. I have nothing bad to say about Resolve. I think it's great software.
Resolve is nice because you can buy hardware and get the license included.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like they have controller keyboards to do everything with, and when you buy those, you just get the software. The software is free, but some of it's a little bit limited, and then you get the unlimited one. And it's like Final Cut. Even if you pay for it, it's $300 one time. Done. Same as Final Cut.
Yeah. Well, we're caught up. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I just had fun talking.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing of not having like a specific topic is like we just get to hang out.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to make sure that if there was anything that you wanted to.
Not related to that.
Oh, just go ahead. We're here.
No, it was about a camera. It's not.
Oh.
It was something we talked about like a while ago that popped up where it was the Amazon bookstore, how we came back to.
Oh yeah.
So like a year ago, DJI came out with this camera. Peter has one, but I don't have anything like it. It's a big cinema camera, and it basically has a gimbal built on the front of it, which is kind of cool. Like, there's not been a camera like that before. They hyped it up as like the best thing since sliced bread, and then you kind of never really heard anything about it. They had all these promises of like, we're gonna have new attachments and new updates and new this, and a lot of people thought they just kind of discontinued it after all that. Some people used it and liked it, but they didn't. But recently, maybe like 2 weeks ago, they came out with this update where it's almost, I think it's kind of based on what they did with the cameras for Top Gun, even though those weren't DJI, where you have the camera and then you have a long cable. So you then have like a box with the sensor in it and your lens. So you can take that and put it somewhere else. And, you can mount it in different ways. And you don't have to put the giant camera and everything. You just put the front there. And people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. YouTube is flooded with it. But I was like, okay, here's the thing though. If you look up any TV camera from like the 1970s, it's the exact same thing where like someone wore a sash that had like a videotape recorder on their side and into the 80s. And then the thing that they were holding had a cable that went to it and was just the lens and the camera.
So
And
we've
that was
come
all
full
the,
circle.
we've come full circle because it's like DJI sent out these backpacks where it's like the camera mounts in the backpack. So you wear the backpack and you have it here, and now you have the camera slung up here, and you can just thing. I'm like, it's just there's a purpose for it. There's a very specific need for that and to do cool stuff with. But I was like, also, this has been around for like forever. It was the first way that this stuff existed, and you just went back to it. And I found that really funny. And then because the camera's so big, people were like taking the little box part. Basically, they're like this. They're like, look, I have, here, instead of the whole camera, I just have this part with the sensor, and then I can put this lens on it. And now I have just this lens right here that I can hold, and I have the thing right there. And it's like, yeah, like
Camera.
this is what that is. It's the whole thing. I know it doesn't have everything else. Like, it's not apples to apples. And if you're in, it made me laugh because it was coming full circle, but it was also like, from DJI's perspective, they took something which is a very practical but very niche need in like an industry or a market. Like, there's a reason that a big camera like that needs that feature. And there are some people, an actual production filming in cars, for example, like there are times when you would need that kind of thing. But all over YouTube, it was just like, oh my God, like, really? Is this what you're going to like film with every day? No, never again after making this video. And it just made me laugh because it was like reinventing the mirrorless camera. And
And you just saw it all happen.
And it just happened in real time. And then I remembered the old camera setups. When they showed the backpack, I was like, no, literally you would wear like, it was like a giant VCR, the cable to like the camera with the lens on it. And that's where the person, and then it was such an innovation when there was a camera where it was basically like, look like this. Because these were like two pieces, and you would have like, you would take this part and connect it to the recorder part. And it was like, you have it all in one. It's just funny to me. I don't know. It's not related to our discussion, but
See, Tom really likes this stuff. He'll go on and on.
Sorry.
It really is your thing.
It is. It's Ben's thing too.
It's Ben's thing. He's very excited about it.
Yes.
Well, okay, I know we're over time, but I wanted to ask you, like, what is this, your 6th year now? Oh, this is officially your 2 years full time.
Oh yeah, this week is 2 years of leaving teaching.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 6 years. Yes, this is year 6.
Yeah, I'm on year 7, I think. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. Did you think that you would be doing it this long?
Yes, but I didn't know in what
to
capacity. Yeah, so it was like, am I making 3D printing videos for 5 people? I don't know, but I didn't think it would be this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
this is way better than anything I could have imagined.
So have you noticed any, like, to close out? Have you noticed any, or whether it's like from the audience side or from how you feel about your channel from September to today, any differences? Like, even, maybe it's comments, maybe it's your, the way you approach how you come up with ideas, or
comments are their whole thing, but I'll say, like, trusting your gut to do the thing that you want to do. Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum, and it's very cliche, but like, put the you in YouTube. Like, it's your channel. Don't try to make it somebody else's channel or do exactly what somebody else does. Be inspired, be motivated, get ideas from other places, but ultimately do what you want to do. And a big thing I learned while I was sick and watching other stuff was coming to not only accept, but embrace imperfection. And, like, I've done videos, a lot of videos lately with like the wabi-sabi of things, but also I've been doing title cards in videos lately that are terrible. Like, I know graphic design wise, technically they're really bad. There's pixelation, there's bad sound effects, there's bad green screen. It's all terrible. And I love them. And it's exactly what they should be. And it's like, this is really fun. And it's, like, I guess this could be better and I could make it look like it's, Skywalker Sound did it or something, but I kind of like this. And like, I don't know. like just having fun and making what you need to make, and absolutely embracing the, sometimes it is funny to like zoom in on a part of the frame so far that it becomes crazy pixelated and blurry, and like
That's part of the humor.
it's part of the humor, but it's also like it's illustrating, or sometimes, okay, that's a humor thing, sometimes illustrating a point.
Right.
Showing the roadcaster or something, and I really need to crop in on a part of the screen, but it's going to be a little fuzzy because I didn't plan to do that when I filmed it. So what's better, not doing that because it's not 4K crystal clear, or just accepting that it's going to be a little blurry, but it's going to get the info across? Like, nobody cares that it's blurry.
Yeah.
And that, like, accepting.
And the one person that does just needs to go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
For the record, I love watching you have conversations as much as I love your actual video. That's really nice.
Yay.
Thank you. And Paul said there's an education discount for Final Cut Pro that includes, Final Cut, Motion, and Logic. And if you're a student teacher, even at the college level, I think it's like $175 for all of them forever. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah. So, sorry, there's so many interesting comments. I agree. The unpolished video feels more like a conversation. Well, feels more like a conversation. At some point, it'd be interesting to hear your take on Canon now that largely fill out. Yeah. So a lot of my take is very similar. I'm going to give a plug to a new podcast that I've discovered recently called 16 Stops.
16 Stops. I like it.
Yeah, with Josh Satin and Brandon Talbot. Josh used to be a high school teacher also. Then he ran a farming YouTube channel that got up to like 200 something YouTube channels, subscribers. And then he shut that down and has a camera channel that's, growing as well, but not at that point, but just camera nerds. And they have a podcast, and Josh is somebody who has every camera system, and his co-host Brandon is a Canon person, not because he doesn't recognize the value of other systems, but because he's very, very invested in Canon. And even if he would want to change, it just doesn't make sense to, like, he'd lose so much money changing camera systems. And they have a lot of really interesting discussions. I think it's maybe even the first episode of their podcast is called Why Everyone's Switching to Sony. They dive into this topic a lot, and a lot of it is just like, yes, preach. I agree with everything you're saying. But yeah, I mean, Canon cameras are amazing. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It's the prices and the marketing that are terrible. Well, even the prices aren't that terrible. Micro HDMI is terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well,
alrighty. Is it time to clear the table?
Yeah, I think so. Unless you have anything else. Dun, 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 dun.
No, I have this. This was the Insta360 Link camera. Oh no, let's zoom out. Sorry, this is so uncomfortable. There we go. Hello.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. I know. I hope it doesn't make people motion sick, but it's kind of a fun like outro segment. So,
Wow.
What's it?
The colors are so different.
Yeah. It's actually really good though for like a tiny webcam.
No, I like
it. It's actually, it looks kind of nice there.
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting the colors right for both of us because our skin's so different.
It's okay.
But we're all
You're
human.
doing great.
Okay, it's time to clear. Wait. Last
Hey, Mihal.
two things. Hey, Mihal is here. Introvert amateur. We were able to look into Peter's Final Cut Pro course and a pair of different approaches. Yes, so Peter and I came up with the idea of our courses at the same time independently, which is essentially the thesis behind both of them, which literally was like, I had this idea, he had this idea, and then we're like, hey, I think I want to make it. Oh, you. And the idea was Final Cut Pro is a big program that's hard to teach. It's scary to think of covering everything. So instead of covering everything as like the user guide, just teach how we use it.
Yeah.
And so it's a course on how I use it, a course on how he uses it. And at that point, too, the two courses, even about Final Cut Pro, aren't the same because it's too different.
The way they use it is totally different.
And Peter's course is more expensive than mine, but it's also way more in depth. His is closer to being a complete user guide. And it's great. Like, we were working on our courses sort of together and like sharing them and things, which is cool. His course is awesome. I think it's fcpx.academy. If you want to check that out. And mine is learnfinalcutpro.com. Can't believe that was available. Real Pel Room, completely off topic. Last question, I guess. How long do you keep the boxes all your sort of gear comes in? Yes, great to see you in action. You never save boxes, right? Before?
Yeah, I think maybe I give it 2 weeks, and then there's no need.
Yeah. It depends on kind of what it is. Like, I don't really sell gear. But sometimes something like a computer, I feel like, I don't know, if it's like $4,000. I don't know if I'm going to need the box for some reason. But otherwise, it's kind of like the return period, or
Yeah.
if it's, yeah, once it's past the return period, I'll recycle the box. Or if it's something that I think I might be shipping or sending to someone at some point, which happens a lot with like different pieces of gear and microphones and stuff, where it's, if I keep this for a year and then send it to someone, it's way nicer to ship it through the mail if it's in its actual packaging where it's
Right.
safe and secure versus not. But I never know, it's like I don't really plan on doing that. So I've been trying to get rid of gear as much as possible. Alrighty. I guess now it is time to clear the table.
I think it's time to clear the table.
So do we know when we're coming back?
I mean, I think we should plan for Thursday at 1.
Which Thursday?
Where's my phone?
Well, that was the question. Is it next or next? I was getting a spam call right now. So.
I can do either.
Well, let me look at my calendar. This is what we're just gonna look at our calendars now. I could be here next Thursday.
We could.
Could.
We'll
schedule it in
plan.
advance, but that's tentatively planned for next Thursday.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Aw.
I hope you all have a safe, happy, healthy rest of your week.
Amateur.
It's great to see everybody. Great to chat, everyone. Ben can tell that we're getting ready to leave.
Oh, he just left.
Anyway, hope you guys have a safe, happy, healthy rest of your week. There's Ben over there.
Hi, Ben.
And we will see you
Bye, everybody.
next time. Bye-bye.